Hello everyone and welcome back to some more of Dwarf Fortress 2015 with me, the Green Dragon. As some of you might already know from the other messages I've been putting out there, my laptop's hard drive died. And, well, that means that the previous save we had is lost to the goblins of non-existing hard drives. So, we get to start over on a freshly installed system where all the settings will be derped up and otherwise fun times. So I've gone ahead and picked ourselves a place for a new Embark. We're going to be next to the ocean in the cold lands of the south areas, and we will have large amounts of gold, some bismuth, tetrahedrite, limonite, native silver, garnerite. So there's a lot of different metals, and there is a flagstone layer, which means we will be able to produce steel. There are two objectives to this fort. Number one, wealth. We're not playing for dead dwarves, we're playing for wealth. We want to create as much wealth as possible. Well, dead dwarves is a third objective. So, dead dwarves, wealth, and I want to create a highly militarized fort. That means that we might be attempting to kill ourselves a clown or two. So, yes, there is salt water, as there should be. Now we'll be embarking in a slightly different way. We'll not be taking miners and engravers like previous time. We'll instead be taking specialists. We'll have one medicine man, who will be our medicine man, for obvious reasons, because people will inevitably get hurt, especially if we're going to be creating a fort which will be highly militarized. And we will be taking, other than that, we'll be taking metal crafters, both of the armor weaponsmith variety, which we will take 2, and the furniture and cool stuff makers, you know, just crafts, goblets, stuff that can be turned into money essentially. And who should be the other two? I've been thinking about that, honestly. And I'm not entirely sure. They could be gem guys or they could be furnace operators. Actually, I like that idea. I was thinking something like butchers or whatever, but no, we'll have 2 professional furnace guys. And wood burners as well. Because we'll need someone to operate the furnaces once we have them. So where is wood burning? I can't see it in the list. If we don't find it, that's... oh, right. Derp, right under there. The one place I wouldn't look, right? Okay. So we will want 2 forges at least, and we will want cats with us. I know there'll be a cat explosion, but we'll make a salty, briny drowning chamber. So it'll be okay. We're just gonna drown the extra cats. Don't need a bag. Thread and cloth we will take for essentially supplies, really, for our guy, our medicine man. And for at least the first while, we will be trying to feed ourselves using large amounts of plump helmets. And that will piss dwarves off, because plump helmets kind of suck if that's all you get to eat. But that will be how we approach this. Can't get another one there. Unless we get rid of some of these food items. We'll be able to slaughter our starting animals, so that's okay. And pigtails, scale wheat and the like, we will no doubt even later on be running at least one farm of 5x5, because we'll need to maintain some sort of a ability to... you know what, why don't we go with 2 axes and 5 picks instead? And then just have a lot of plump helmets, because I want to make sure that we are feeding ourselves right from the very start. So, I haven't really checked out what my neighbors would be. We might get a lot of nasty surprises. Just let the Dwarf Therapist hopefully connect. Okay, good. Ooh. One thing I've almost forgotten. Let's name it. So, random name. Fence bars? No. Work posts? No. No. Tattoo torch? No. Scale downs? Nope. God portal? You know? Yeah, we'll go with that. I think that fits pretty damn well. We'll go with that. That sounds great. God portal it is. Okay. You might notice that I don't have sound sense on. I don't because I'm still setting everything up. And this is the sea. The ocean. It will have waves and shit. It is gonna be a thing. Now we don't have platinum here, which I had hoped we might have, but I wasn't able to find a spot with platinum easily enough. Oh, and you can see that the water here is still frozen. It's just the sea that's unfrozen at this point, which is an interesting thing. Let's put the doctor in his proper place from the very start. And now, I think the wood burners, since they're the ones who are going to be actually, you know, killing the trees, should be the ones that get access to the axes, and the rest can have the picks. First thing we're gonna do is start chopping some trees down and digging down for obvious reasons. Alt M. I will want to build some sort of a wall along the sea because there are gonna be waves there. That is very much gonna be a thing. And we're actually gonna dig down a bit differently than usual. In fact, we're gonna do it like this. Is that too wide? There we go, like that. Wow. I'm just checking my frame rate, what it looks like. Why the fuck is the frame rate so crappy this early in the thing? Hopefully it evens out, cause this seems wrong. This seems very inappropriate, honestly. It shouldn't be this slow. This might be something to do with the settings I set up. It might very well be something to do with the settings I set up. But what we do know is we're gonna have a way in like this. In fact, like this. And we're gonna have a barracks here for a unit of dwarves that will guard the place. And then we'll have ourselves a big opening here. This will be the actual stairway down. And on the other side of this will be a safe spot for the merchants to park, guarded by our dwarves, like so. And here we'll have a bridge giving us a actual way in. Yes, and here we're gonna have the place where the actual people will set themselves up. But something is certainly taking up a lot of processor power, and I'm not sure what. Let me just quickly check for that. What's eating it up? Yup, it's OBS. And I can't, of course, easily... Okay. Good to know. So it's OBS being derpy, apparently. I'm gonna have to experiment with it at some point. You have managed to do that, which is good. I will create 2 wood furnaces up top right away, just to start turning that into an appropriate amount of charcoal, because we're gonna need it. We're gonna be working very hard on producing a lot of stuff. And we will want to get access to iron quickly. I'm hoping that the sea will freeze at some point during the winter months, just so that I can get access to various things. Mostly so that I can go and derp around with it without problem. I'm gonna build my fortress on the surface for obvious reasons. Yeah, I want to set it up in a way that allows me to sort of... Yeah, I want to be able to close off the lower levels. But at the same time, I want this to be protected and the first line of defense to be outside that. Which will be here. And then, well, down below I'm gonna have traps and another line of defense behind those traps. In terms of how we're gonna earn our first batch of money, I think we're just gonna make some iron goblets, failing anything else. Iron is valuable enough that it shouldn't be a problem to do that. What the fuck is that? Peat? That might mean that we will want to set things up right here. Okay, why don't we do this and set up a food stockpile there, and then possibly we might make a farm nearby, because we might need one in order to just survive in general. ACR that, and by that I mean start making charcoal. Then again, it might just be Dwarf Fortress derping ground. Or maybe not. Okay, we do have some limonite that we have struck right here, which kind of suggests that we want to dig up northwards when we get our opportunity to do so. Still no skill on these dwarves. Okay, good to know. Good to know. This is all looking good on this end. Oh well. Oh, that vein in fact goes right down here as well, which means that we will get some iron from this, which is actually great. The sooner we can get something to essentially... Actually, this should be a downstair, not an upstair. Yes, there we go. Or rather, not an up-down stair. So, yeah. But as quickly as we can, the faster we can get something we can trade for a winter's worth of food, the happier I will be, because I do intend to import most, if not all, of my food. I want to have just enough plants to ensure that we don't run out of booze, essentially. That's the plan. And, yeah. Other than that, we will eventually switch over to imports. Now we will keep a large amount of plum helmet seeds so that we can hopefully feed ourselves just with plum helmets if we really have to, but I suppose we'll see how that goes. And this needs to be set up to process charcoal as well, so that the other guy has something to do. Apparently we're not getting ocean waves here. Interesting. Very interesting. I suppose that's fine. I used to get a lot of waveage in one of the other forts I ran by the sea at one point, on my own. But apparently not here. Yeah, this is where we'll place the wagons. They're just gonna be able to go down through here, in here, along here, and just make their way inside. It's gonna be awesome. Looks like it might just be little pockets of peat. Or maybe it's... yeah, we have this seaside crap, like the coast, which is just shale and stuff, and then when we have the greener stuff, which isn't part of the seacoast biome, underneath that we get peat. And does this coincide? Yes, it does. Okay, so... okay, I have some idea where to look for what then. That's good. That's good. Definitely need to take a look at this. I did set its priority to be high, process-wise. Maybe that's part of the problem. Might want to bring the frame rate down a bit as well, because Dwarf Fortress doesn't really need that high frame rate. As in, it doesn't need 30, I can go down to 20 with, and have it still look okay, I think. I'm just gonna have to derp around with the settings a bit. I'm sorry, but you know, fresh installation, nothing works properly anymore. It couldn't be helped. It really couldn't be. I tried what I could to revive the disk, to recover the previous save. All kinds of things. Couldn't be done. Not a thing. And that's also the reason why there's been such a long pause since the last Dwarf Fortress video. It's not that I have abandoned the idea, but obviously my computer died like literally hours after I uploaded that first batch. That's what happened. How long in the video are we? 16 minutes? Okay. So this will be our food stockpile. I could dig out a temporary farm space right next to it. Okay, let's see. 13. Quick math. So 4 from the top, 4 from the bottom, and this is where we would get a like 5x5 area, which would be in the right thing. So yeah, why don't we make a tiny farm there and start planting plum helmets. This will ensure that we don't actually starve. Now the dwarves can't dig salt water, and we will eventually need to set up a filtering system with a pump and a windmill in order to create drinkable water from that. Because you can desalinate water in this game, you just need a pumping system. Of course, that's a bit more of a project that we can manage right now with just 7 dwarves and all, so many things that need to actually be done, but it's definitely something we will be doing eventually. How much iron do I have? I would say that's like... we might get 30 or 40 nuggets once we're done digging all of this out, which is a pretty decent amount. That will tide us over for a good long while. In fact, we might want to make a set of armor and weapons right away so that we can start equipping our first squad of military right away and get them training. So, first migrant wave, if we get at least 3 people, I think I will have 2 full-time farmers and 1 manager bookkeeper to ensure that we can start making proper workshop orders. I think that's the best way to approach it. And in the meantime, I will want smelters at some point soon. How are their skills? Someone must have reached level 1, possibly 2. Yeah, one of them is at level 2, the rest are level 1s. So at least some basic skill there, that's better than nothing. I will order them all to be farmers though, so that the plump helmet thing is being done. That's like our basic emergency food supply for now. Eventually I will dig out another way from the inside to these levels where we can actually plant things. One that does not involve us, you know, risking our hides to come up farm. It will be behind all the defenses. Essentially I will set it up so that the farm's behind all the defenses. Is this an actual... that's loamy sand. The question is, can I use it for glass production? Let's check. If I create a zone... no, it does not let me use that to gather sand. Huh. That's not good. Glass is nice if you want to do stuff with gems, because it gives a very easy and effective way for people to train up with those skills. Now I could just make a place here with a actual, what's his face, depot already, made of stone. You know, this place is supposed to have gold. We will remake it out of gold, but just so that we don't run into trouble with that, we will make it out of stone at first. Just to make sure that it is ready and, you know, like, set up for when we want it. What's the time on that? 20 minutes? Okay. Just checking. As you can see, I don't have all my shit together because, like I said, fresh installation, stuff, reasons. So yeah, this is gonna be our entrance on the surface. All of our people are gonna cave adapt like crazy because we're just gonna stay out of the nasty sun. And as soon as this is done, this is just gonna be our first farm. It's gonna produce exclusively plump helmets all year round, for now at least. And it's gonna provide us with basic foodstuffs. And plump helmets can of course also be brewed into actual booze, which is part of the dream. Okay, so that's 2 units of shale already entered into the building. Yeah, just want to set it up, make sure that it's ready for when we want it, right? Now, this limonite and stuff will eventually be replaced by shale block walls, because I will neatify a lot of this stuff. But that's for slightly later. How low down do I want to dig here? I think 2 levels down will be sufficient here. Like this. And then we can start building our main fort, our airlock, all of that there. You know, along with some traps and the like. And yeah, everyone is slowly working towards their set goals. All is good. How are we on food? Someone ate a unit of something, but we still have plenty. By the time the first migrants arrive, hopefully, I'm thinking that maybe a crop of 1 set of plump helmets will already be done, so we will be good on that account. Because they do grow quickly in the unmodded game. And that is great. We will of course also slaughter the animals when we get the opportunity for their glorious, glorious stuff. I do want to keep the bones just in case, because you can do all kinds of interesting things with animal bones. Well, do I want to keep the bones? Because I could just ditch them, honestly. How much do I need the bones? I'm not gonna craft them. I might turn them into bolts because I want at least 2 squads of archers in theory. But then again, I could make training bolts out of bone or wood. But considering how rich we are in iron here, and that there's supposed to be silver and copper I think down below as well, it should really be a problem to make copper training bolts and use that as practice really for our guys making weapons, because that does add weapon skill, making metal bolts. Might be better to do it that way. Honestly, it's something to consider, isn't it? But yeah, I definitely need to dig around with the settings some. So, why don't I pause it here, and I will see you guys in the next episode. So, see you then. And pause the game.